Tell us a little about the new weight building.
The weight building is roughly about 84 feet long, about 40 feet wide. This building will house the football dressing room. It will house the weight room, and we'll have a little storage area, coaches' offices, bathrooms, and that's pretty much what's going to be in this building right there.
When do you think it'll be ready to use?
Well, we hope it's tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. I'm hoping for roughly about a month from now. I think it'll be ready to use. By the time we get all the walls put up and everything put in and all the plumbing, and it's going to be a slow process because we're doing it whenever we can. So I'm hoping within a month that it'll be able to be available for the weight room.
What are some of the advantages of having like a specific building for just weights?
Well, you need a good area, and right now here at Doniphan we didn't have a very good area. You need as much room as you can, and actually this isn't a huge weight room by standards, but it's going to be a very nice one, and it'll be big enough for us to get what we need to have done. But you need an area that's separated, and sometimes it's kind of nice to have it separate from the high school because it gets used on weekends maybe and after school and things, and that way you don't have to open up the high school building to get into it. So it's nice to have a separate facility if it's possible, and access and close. This one's going to be right next to the stadium, so it'll be a pretty nice facility for us.
How will this help the players over the years as they come up through the program?
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, I know Doniphan hasn't had a really hard-nosed, legitimate weight program in the past, and I know a lot of our students don't understand the benefits from it. I mean, only what we can tell them this there, but it's kind of a wait-and-see process. They'll have to find the benefits, but what a weight room will do is down the road, it's going to make kids bigger physically, muscle-bound wise. It's going to make them faster if they do the weight program and everything that's involved in it. It'll make them jump higher for basketball, throw farther, hit the baseball farther. It will affect, it's not just a football program, and that's kind of everybody thinks it's football, and it's not. I mean, if you see college and high school and pro athletes now, even golfers, they're in the weight room. I mean, they're trying to get their body in the best possible shape it can be to make their performance the best they can. A lot of kids I've had in the past, even after they're done, athletes and non-athletes, they've stayed involved in the weight program. I've had kids that, I had a girl at one school that she just wasn't an athlete at all. She came out, got involved in the weight program her senior year, took the class. She ended up being a professional bodybuilder for female. Things of that nature. It's something you can do after you graduate, and it's good for your body in general.
How's the field coming? Will it be ready for the first game next year?
The field, as you can see if you film it a little bit, it's been, all the dirt work's done. We've got to remove a few pebbles and gravel that's out there, but the plans are to seed it this spring or sod it this spring. So it should be ready to go by next year with not any problems.
How does it feel having 2 wins this season?
2 wins is good. We still have 2 games left. We want more. We're going to try to get 2 more if we can, obviously. I know some people felt like we might not win a game this year as our first-year JV team because we're still young and we're not very experienced. But it feels very good, and not only just the 2 wins, but even the other games, we're playing respectful football. Last night, had a rough time, but we also had 6 turnovers, so it could have been way worse than it ended up being. But the games that we've lost, we learn a lot from too. We're playing good programs, Kennett and Hayti, and we're playing some good programs, and even win or lose, we're learning and gaining experience from it.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in the team this year?
Well, from what little bit we did last year to this year, I think our basics and fundamentals have improved drastically. We tackle better. We're obviously blocking a little better. We've won a couple games, so we're obviously doing something improvement-wise. But I'd say just, and even though we have improved, we got a bunch of first-year players again this year. So we're still very young when it comes to being football experienced, but the kids have responded and have, I think, each week improved in some way, shape, or form. If they keep doing that and use this weight room when we get it done, I think we'll take another big jump for next year. And obviously we're going to have to if we're going to compete in the varsity level. But the kids are responding well. they're learning, and we see little improvements from week to week, from not just as a team, but also individuals. Kind of like you can see them wake up, a little spark here and there in each individual. So it's been fun and it's been interesting.
Okay. What's the future look like? What's some of the biggest challenges you face for varsity next year?
Well, the biggest challenge we'll probably face for varsity next year will be the fact that we're still going to be, as football goes, a young, inexperienced team. So we're not going to have a 4-year experienced football player on the field, which was what we'll be competing with. So that experience is going to be probably the biggest thing. They're going to have to really work hard in the off season. If we can get to a point where our strength will help us a bunch, we can tell what little bit we've done so far. But the biggest thing will be competing against teams that are experienced varsity play teams against our inexperienced will probably be the biggest factor. But I think we're finding out this year that we can compete, and several of the teams we've played this year have played some varsity players down, so we are seeing a little bit of varsity caliber athletes, and that's helped us a little bit. But that'll be the biggest thing. Can we work hard enough to compete with experienced varsity players? And because we're going to be young and inexperienced on the varsity level, but I feel pretty good about some of the kids we have as far as being there. It's just getting a whole team to that level will be a little bit of work.
What do you think the first home game will be like?
We play Kabul, and when we scheduled our games, everybody wanted a piece of us. We're the new kid on the block, and they know we're going to be inexperienced varsity players. Kabul is a program that's struggling a little bit, so they quickly got us on their schedule. So I think, yeah, that first game, the type of program they are, if we do what we're capable of doing, we'll be able to battle with them that first game. I think it'll be a very interesting night for us and a young program, and it'll be a good game to start the season off with.
I think that's it.
Any comments or things you want to say just to the people?
Well, in general, we need to get in the weight room with our athletes. I know some of us haven't bought into it yet from the other programs, and they're still questioning why and everything, but they need to buy in. They need to see what the results are in the weight room. And I've been doing this for a long time, and in all my years, I've never had an athlete in any sport come up to me and say, man, I wasted my time in the weight room. I wish I'd have never done it. It hasn't happened. Quite the opposite. I've had kids come up, and it's amazing what the weight room can do if they put the time in. Now, if you go in those doors here when they get done, and you just go in the doors and you don't put forth the effort or the work, it's not going to happen. You only get out of it what you put into it. You can't cheat the weight room. You can't cheat the results. You can only cheat yourself. And if you're cheating yourself and you're a member of your team, you're cheating the team too. So, you know, the first year of putting in weight programs in school, that's not my first rodeo. It's a little tough because getting some of the kids to buy into it and understand what the results are going to be can be awful tough. But if you watch the ones that do, you'll see what the results are pretty quick.